All right, welcome to Mundelein Minute. This is season 3, episode number, I think it's 11. I don't know. It's up here in the corner.
Are we almost to 60?
Yeah, we're like getting up there.
Dang, we're old. Okay.
I mean, old or we just record podcasts?
Both.
Okay. My name is Eric Schwenk. I'm a trustee in the Village of Mundelein, and you are not Eric Schwenk.
But I'm Kara Lambert. I'm also a trustee in the Village of Mundelein.
That you are.
Me, yep.
Yep. And this is my house, my cameras. There's a cat. I don't know if the camera's positioned that way to see the cat, but this is our...
It's going to look real creepy then when I look down and just like
pet this cat. Yeah, that's not my leg. That's the cat. That's awkward.
Isabella, make your presence known.
Right. And speaking of, there's 3 cats, a bird, and
your wife's making dinner.
My wife's making dinner upstairs, and I think she might be bumping to some California reggae.
I hope she is.
So, there might be background noise, but that's life, right?
We're human.
We're human, and welcome to our life. So we are recapping the village board meeting on January 9th, and let's just dive right in and breeze through a couple of things. The meeting started right on time. All the trustees were present. Everybody was there. Pledge of Allegiance, approval of minutes. And then we moved a couple of items. So we moved up the presentations and awards and the proclamation recognizing Cyndy Peart up before public commentary. And sometimes we do that when we're expecting public commentary to go on for a while.
Well,
and we want to recognize people.
Yeah, exactly. So if they want to leave, they can leave.
Yeah, so they can peace out.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. So we recognize the Arts Commission writing contest winners. I still have the book. I have not read it yet. Please don't hate me, but I love these things, and I
just read your books, man.
I know. I'll get to it. It's definitely something I'll do. And then there was a proclamation recognizing Cyndy Peart, and this is going to sound absolutely horrible. I'm going to find another way to say this.
Where is this going?
If there's anybody that knows where the bodies are hidden, that's what I was going to say. It's the lady that worked for the police department and then in administration at Village Hall for 27 years. Like, she is...
I'm surprised the village is functioning without her.
Right. Well,
have we not imploded yet?
We had to bring in another admin for the last month or two,
so she could train.
To train, and not just train like, oh, here's how you do this, but the institutional knowledge that woman carries is vast. And that when I see that in an organization, like, that hurts to watch leave.
Well deserved.
I congratulate her on the retirement,
deserved.
but I'm also like, oh man,
it sucks for us.
Yeah, exactly. So congratulations, Cyndy. I'm pretty sure you don't watch Mundelein Minute, but if you do,
maybe
congratulations
you do now that you're
to
retired.
you. That's true.
You get to hang out.
Yeah, she doesn't live it anymore 24/7. That's awesome. So then we also did a committee of the whole meeting call. So January 23rd at 6:30 p.m. And that was to talk about
a proposed noise ordinance.
But instead we're going to talk about the high school District 120 proposed amendments.
We're going to get educated on it because we don't know anything about it.
Right. So
we know what the public knows.
We're not saying anything about that.
Nope.
But it will be I'm guessing it'll be Kevin Myers, maybe some board members that will be there, and we'll be educated too.
And we'll talk to you guys about it afterwards.
That's right. By the way, they are their own taxing body. The Village of Mundelein has nothing to do with the taxes that the school district levies.
Yes, correct.
That is their own Board of Education.
Which is why we're going to get educated on it.
That's why we're getting educated from the Board of Education.
All right, moving on.
All right, so moving on, public commentary. I don't have my...
We had quite a bit.
My sheet
I don't have my notebook either.
But it was all regarding...
there was one about Community Day's location.
Oh, the Community Day's location and moving it, which is a temporary location, to Plaza Circle this year.
While the new Cortland Park gets constructed.
Correct. So. And then the rest was about the...
car wash.
The car wash. I almost said dishwasher.
That's not right.
That's upstairs.
Yes.
So
we'll talk about the car wash when we talk about the car wash.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Yep. So moving on was community and economic development.
Oh, we're talking about the car wash.
Hey, it's the car wash. So there was... We talked about it before we voted. We didn't just make motions and then do discussions. We talked about it before the motions were even made.
And a presentation was made.
So
basically there was a car wash proposed at this intersection baffles me. What is it? 6083 and 6083? Like
Yeah. So right across the street from the Lightning baseball facility,
yes.
and where there used to be a gas station on the other corner, which is
Correct.
now a green space that, got mowed down, and now they just mow it.
Yeah.
But they took it down and made it into green space. And the other side is there's a street over there that goes
Yes.
back into a neighborhood.
A small, teeny tiny little residential neighborhood, which I, full transparency, didn't even know was there until I drove down it. Like, I actually drove down it like last week, and I was like, what in the world? This is
So
tiny.
this gets interesting because the property that is being discussed, it's 301 and 319 East Route 83, is residential. It's R1. It's right on 6083, right at that intersection. And the back of that property is the village limit.
Yeah.
So the property borders
Long Grove.
and actually Long Grove's community well for that area is a little cutout of that property.
Yeah.
So it's not a perfect rectangle as some properties are. It's like a rectangle with a little square cut out, and that's where the well is.
And a well means where your water supply is.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this went through planning and zoning because it was changing the map
Yeah,
and
extensively.
from residential to a C2 commercial 2 zoning.
With a special use variation.
And car washes require a special use, I think, in all 4 of the commercial districts. So either way, it was going to have to go through planning and zoning.
Yes.
And it did.
And it did.
And there was discussion about this.
And those meetings were hefty.
They were hefty. It took quite a process. I think this started in July.
Yes. That's
Uh-oh.
a nice noise.
My phone's ringing.
Oh. So anyways, I'll talk. So we discussed it, and Trustee Schwenk, of course, always so eloquent, talked about how he was concerned about the quality of the water, the sort of chemicals that were in the soaps, what ifs happened, like if that well was to get
Yep.
something in it, anything in it. The other concern that, like, I'm so cliche, but like I always come at things from like my perspective as being a mom of 2 little kids. That neighborhood that's back there doesn't have sidewalks.
It doesn't have sidewalks, and at first they proposed the exit to come out that way.
Yes.
Then they've changed it.
But still, you're gonna get cars back there.
You're
like
going to
it's
get cars.
It. Oh my gosh, let me just stutter some more. It is inevitable that you will, and that scared me.
Yeah.
So, long story short, all of us, you came out against it. Sol didn't have an initial opinion. She was thinking still. Tim Wilson came out. I can't remember.
He
was
didn't come
iffy.
out against it per se, but he said he didn't have reason to overturn planning and zoning's recommendations.
Fair.
Yeah.
And then I'm going down the order. Then it's the mayor. He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything.
Then it's Trustee Russell who came out and wanted to overturn planning and zoning's recommendations.
Correct.
He was for it. Then it was me, and I was like, I don't like it. There's also another car wash proposed really close to it, literally kitty corner from it. Yeah. And then Trustee Ross, I can't remember. Help me.
She was more indifferent to it than me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So, and then Kirsten proposed the idea of tabling it, and then I lost my mind.
Correct. So Trustee Russell wanted to table this to send it back to planning and zoning, or at least put it on hold so that
There would be collaboration
and right, so that the neighbors and this company could figure this out.
right.
And
Then I lost my mind.
yeah, I don't think you lost your mind.
I've lost my mind worse than that. But I was frustrated by that statement because it really just like was adding bureaucracy to the process, and like you had it had the votes to not go through, and like just because you don't like the way something gets voted on is not a reason to like not vote on it. So let's call the question and go.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
that
So
was just like also had gone through the process.
it had gone through the process.
Like,
Everybody had a fair hearing.
mm-hmm.
The petitioner had their opportunity to talk. The neighborhood had their opportunities to be heard. This is a completely
and some of
above
these
board and
P&Z
fair
meetings
and transparent
went
process.
till like 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to waste P&Z's time by anyways.
Right. So there was a lot of discussion about where the water goes. Obviously, it goes down the drain, but they also collect water.
Thank God. It goes
Yeah, right. It doesn't just go back into the ground. But there is some concern about the storage tanks and leaking into the well. The state says that as long as it's not within 200 feet, then you're okay.
And they were like at the border.
They were at 293 feet. And I made the comment of, I don't like being near minimums when it comes to my drinking water.
Yeah.
I don't want to drink bare minimum water. I want to drink clean, crystal clean water. And I would expect that from a community well. And then traffic was discussed quite a bit because it's at a very heavily trafficked intersection. And the other part was noise. And they submitted noise. Excuse me. They submitted
Sound study.
sound studies. Thank you. Yeah. And one thing that I felt that it didn't take into consideration was what it's going to look like when you take down all of the trees on the property and you concreted over. That noise from 6083, which they measured at 72 decibels, is going to just reverberate through there, especially when the building is parallel to all of that noise.
Exactly.
It's just going to bounce around and make it so much louder in that neighborhood. And sure, the landowner today can do that under an R1. They have that right.
Right.
But when the plan is brought to me and I have the ability to say no, I did.
So anyways, so the next motions were 1, 2, 3, 4. The next 4 motions were all related to that. And we basically we authorized staff to deny the map amendment, the special use permit,
the fence variation. Or I'm sorry, it wasn't a fence. It was a side yard and corner side yard setback. Yeah.
So none of this will happen. Basically, it was all denied. So there'll be motions on the next agenda on Monday, officially denying it.
Yeah, and it'll probably just be an omnibus item that the board's already voted on.
We'll see. Who knows?
We'll just move it forward. Yeah.
Yep. So that's the car wash deets.
Next up was Earth Flight, and this is a proposed sculpture to be added to Cortland Park. We talked about earlier with the, that's going to happen over the summer for all the construction, and now we're going to be adding a sculpture to this. Yes.
Within their budget.
Within their budget.
Technically.
Under budget?
And technically, this didn't even need to come to us for approval because it's below the threshold.
It is below the threshold. And they do have the budget, which the board authorized.
Correct.
The board discussed openly last time that a sculpture came forward that we wanted to be more in the loop.
And so they're making us in the loop.
They're making us in the loop by bringing this to us, not only on the agenda and to vote on it during the meeting, but they brought it to us a month ahead.
For feedback.
Yeah, for feedback before bringing this to us. They brought it to us before bringing it to us.
Yes. Also, there's a vacancy on the Arts Commission.
That's right.
Anyone interested?
Yep.
So this ultimately did pass, and there will be a sculpture placed.
Oh, you know what? I know a photographer that likes to spend time at area, especially on weekend mornings. Sometimes listener of this podcast. He might be a really good addition to this, Marty. It's art.
It is.
So next up was 32 South Windsor variation. This was to allow an accessory structure, and I kind of feel bad for these property owners because they bought the property and then 5 days after closing were cited by the village for having a structure too large. So they bought it and then boom, got tagged for it and we had to go through this variation process to correct something that the previous owner did.
Whoops.
Welcome to real estate. Whoops. Yep. Commercial setbacks. So we changed some commercial setbacks regarding parking lots that the village has been struggling with developers over the years. So now we've just made it easier on developers and on the village to not have to take everything through the process, but keep things more consistent along the way. All right, what's up next?
Public Works. And this was about community days. So this was basically using the Metro parking lot to stage for the parade. Right.
And Village Hall subdivisions for the event.
Oh, for the event too. So both
so Plaza Circle, all of that. We're going to be using that entire in front of Village Hall for community days. It's going to be in a totally different location. It's going to look completely different.
It'll be weird.
It's an off year. That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah.
can't
And then
remember.
when we go back, it's even going to look more different.
Because Cortland Park will be done.
Yeah, Cortland Park will be done.
All right. Okay.
So,
When we were doing Cracklower Park in the Big Dig, was it COVID, so we didn't need to move it?
yeah.
So if COVID hadn't happened, we would have had to move it like 2 years. Like
I think we did something there, didn't we? Maybe it was just COVID.
I think it was canceled, so we didn't do that.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
anyways, sorry, random.
That was random, but that's
Sorry.
all right.
Sorry.
So that's July 1st through July 4th of this year for Community Days.
Woo! All right.
I'm already excited. You know how much I love Community Days. I'll bring it down. Simmer down now.
It's only January. It's not worried about that.
Next up was Finance Committee. It was just the normal bill pay, $1,040,551.39.
Nothing fancy there. Public safety, that was me.
Yeah.
We recognize, well, so the chief said nothing. Come on, dudes. But I had a bunch of things.
Well, Fire had the Vigilant.
Yeah.
61.
Which they're changing
people.
the way they measure
They're not giving out units
anymore.
They're just
people.
telling
But
us how many
61
people.
people, that's good. That's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
DC Seeley got, I don't have my notes in front of me, the Illinois Chiefs Association. He's now been recognized as chief eligible, basically.
Yeah.
And then
Is that like Bachelor, but for fire chiefs? Like
police chiefs, you mean?
your police chiefs? Yeah, like you stand up there and they like select you and they hand you the golden handcuffs.
I can't. I'm not.
When you say he's like chief eligible, that was the first thing that
I'm
come
not
to mind.
touching that
All
about
right.
the golden handcuffs. Not touching it. Nope. Not today. So, and then also I talked about Faded Best in Mundelein is going to do a first responders haircut promo, which is February 5th. And I had one more thing and now I can't remember it. Oh, it was International Police Appreciation Day.
That's
last
right.
week. So, and then also Coffee with a Cop is coming back soon, so stay
Yes.
tuned for that. So, lots of stuff going on over the
Good
police
times.
department.
Good
Anyways,
times.
Building committee. Who's up next?
There was a Morris Station letter of credit reduction. So the amount was lowered by $80,500. This is something that was in the redevelopment agreement, and we lowered the amount based upon the work that was already completed. So now the developer has this credit available to use as they see fit for the development.
Yep. Nothing under transportation infrastructure. Nothing on the other reports. We should probably talk about this omnibus park district thing. I think we've talked about it before, but we should talk about it again.
So basically,
It's a good thing, man.
this is a good thing, and it's basically the village is being the general contractor for
Right. The
the
park
park district. And it's not that we're doing all of the work, we're doing some of it, but they're paying us for it.
Right.
And
But it's also saving the park district money too.
it's saving the park district money, which is ultimately saving the taxpayer
Right.
money.
So good collaboration. That's my favorite word, you know.
Yes, it is. So that was it. There was really nothing else on the agenda. We did go into executive session for land acquisition or sale of property, personnel,
Minutes.
and minutes.
All right, and that was it.
That was it.
That was it. That's it. That's all we got. What do you got? Nothing?
I got nothing. I'll see you at the next board meeting, which is next Monday.
And then we'll
Yeah.
be back here to tell you all about it.
Yep, next Tuesday.
Maybe.
Maybe. Depends on our schedules.
life.
They've been crazy lately.
Life. All
Yeah.
right, cool. Have a good week.
All right. See you.
Have a good week.
Bye.